Hi, everyone. Can people hear me? Can you guys hear me? Does everyone have sound on, or is that me that you can't hear? Oh, sorry. I can see my comments weren't scrolling. Okay, glad everyone can hear me. We're just gonna wait a few minutes. It's still 7:56. So in the meantime, if anyone's on here that's already booked their trip and getting ready to go, let me know. I'm curious to see who's actually planned and ready to go and who's getting ready to plan. Going next month. That's exciting. Where are you staying? Oh, Disney and Universal. That's perfect. I'm always a fan of split stays. They're so close together, so there's just no excuse to just not do both, right? You can't go wrong with Royal Pacific, but they're all great. So maybe you'll see if we change your mind after you're hearing what I say. Let's see. I want to pin this comment. All right, we're gonna wait just 2 more minutes. All right, so we're a little mixed. Some people already booked, some are waiting to book. Hopefully, after you hear what I have to say, everyone will be ready to book a trip and stay at one of these 3 hotels. Hi, Deborah. Oh, Christmas, that'll be fun. Where did you stay, Cheryl? Did you stay at one of these hotels? November, it depends when you go in November. When you know you're near Thanksgiving, it's definitely a little bit busier. So if you're able to go toward the beginning of the month, the other part of that too is they call it Jersey weeks. So all of the North crowd, especially New Jersey, are all on Teachers Convention week. So that week in the beginning also gets a little crazy. But you know, if you can get there before Thanksgiving or right after Thanksgiving, that's probably a really good time to go. Oh, Caitlin, that would be an ideal honeymoon. I love it. Okay, so it's 8 o'clock, so I'm going to get started. Um, Typically, I would want to hold questions for the end, but if there's a question that pops up while I'm talking, I don't want you to forget your question, so you can ask. And I apologize. It doesn't not giving me like alert that comments are coming up. So if I miss your question, I'm going to scroll through them all, and I will get back to your question. So every couple of minutes, I'm going to look at the comments just so I'm not missing anybody's question. Okay, perfect. Okay, so my name is Brittany. I'm an agent with Marvelous Mouse Travels. We are the agency that runs this page. So thank you all for joining and being part of this. It seems like everyone really likes this page and is gaining a lot of information from it, which is exactly what we're looking to happen. So again, if anybody has any questions, try to save them for the end. But again, if it's something pops up about something specifically I'm talking about, ask the questions. I don't want you to forget it. And I apologize if I don't see it right away. I will definitely go back and go through all of the questions, and we will go from there. So I did pin my business page to it, so you guys can feel free at the end to pop over to it and like my page. I'm more than happy to help you plan your Universal trip if you are excited to plan after you hear what I have to say, and then we'll I think that's it, and we'll get started. So what I'm going to do is there are 3 premier hotels, if anyone's not familiar with that. The premier hotels are definitely the ultimate Universal vacation if you're able to stay there. Now, don't get me wrong, there is not one hotel on Universal property that is not a great hotel. All are great, and they're all unique, and they're, you know, have great things to offer that are different than any other resort. So I want to, before we talk about the benefits that you're going to get, I do want to just do a quick overview of each hotel, so you know what each hotel has and the unique experiences that you would get from staying at one of these hotels. So first, we're going to start with the Portofino Bay, and if you've ever been to Italy, it's literally a little replica. It is my personal favorite hotel. That is where I always stay when I head to Universal. Out of all 3 hotels, it is the farthest walk. And again, farthest walk could be 15 minutes if you're, if you walk leisurely. I'm in a family where we pretty much run everywhere. You have to stretch before you move on with us. So we can get there in maybe 12 minutes. So that's the Portofino. They have suites. They fit up to 10 people, depending on your party size if you're looking for bigger hotels. I see some of your questions, and I'm going to get to them. Okay, so I'm not ignoring you. So they have suites that fit up to 10. They have Despicable Me suites. So it is 2 separate bedrooms. One's Despicable Me themed for kids, and then the other bedroom is a king room, for the adults. It is adorable. So if you guys get a second, definitely pull up the Despicable Me pictures for the suites and take a look. They are just the cutest rooms. There are club level rooms as well. The club level rooms, and there are club levels throughout all 3 resorts. The club levels do come with a continental breakfast. There's turn down service, concierge service. It's open daily from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. in its lounge. And throughout the day, there's, again, the continental breakfast. There's an afternoon snack. There's evening hors d'oeuvres and cocktails. And then there is 2 hours that are designated for dessert. So that, again, is club level. It's only for club level guests only. You need special access to get in there. And again, there's the suites. So in terms of restaurants, they have 2 Italian restaurants. They're nice sit-down restaurants. There is a casual restaurant as well that does serve breakfast if you want to pop in there before you head to the parks. There's a place called Sal's Deli and Market. That's somewhat of a quick service. You go in, you order a pizza, you order some sandwiches. There's a place for gelato because we are supposed to be in Italy. There is a Starbucks. And I know that was a topic of conversation today, if anyone's on here, that we're talking about the Starbucks refills. So at the hotel, and the Starbucks is at the Portofino, if you bring your receipt, you can get a coffee refilled. This is only for the Portofino. This is not in the parks. You cannot go to Starbucks in the park and get a refill. So again, that's just for the Portofino Starbucks only. In terms of activities, well, there are 2 bars also, small plate cigar type bars. So that's nice if you need some adult time. This also, Portofino, to me, is I think the best hotel if you're looking for an adult only trip. There are 3 pools, and one of them is the main pool. There's a couple other quiet pools as well. So it's really nice for adults. They have 2 huge jacuzzis that are nice as well. There is jogging and walking paths. There are fitness center, and Portofino does have a full service spa. And there's game room as well. And there's also a kids club. So you can drop off your kids and they can spend a few hours there with, certified counselors. And there is a fee. I believe it's $15 an hour per child. So that's something you can do as well to get some adult time. I am just looking over Portofino Express passes for Halloween Horror Night. I read that. No, so express passes do not count for Halloween Horror Nights. Express passes are only going to be for the theme parks. You can buy express passes for Halloween Horror Nights, but it's separate from what you're paying for with the hotel. Okay? I'm just making sure there's nothing else I'm missing. Okay. All right, so anybody have questions about the Portofino? There is also nightly music in the harbor. That's where the boat, the boat comes in to take you to City Walk. So it's, more like opera and, again, that very Italian feel. That's live nightly. So anybody questions about Portofino? I know I'm going through this quickly. Okay. I'm going to talk about next is the Hard Rock. The Hard Rock is the closest hotel to City Walk and Universal Studios. It is literally like a 5-minute walk. You can also take the boat. So this is a very different theme. It's supposed to be rock and roll. It's loud in a good way. And again, it's the closest one. They have suites that fit up to 13 people. So if you plan on traveling with a large party, there are 3-bedroom suites that you can stay at. That, again, that will fit 13 people. Sorry, just to go back, because someone asked me a question about the Portofino. There is a casual restaurant. It is Trattoria del Porto, I think it's called. That's casual. I would say that's best for kids. And there is a pizza place as well. Sal's Deli and Market is pizza and sandwiches. It's casual. Order it at the, it's not waiter service. You go up and order it at the register. So those are definitely the best two, I'd say, to go to for sure, Jillian. Okay, back to the, the Hard Rock. So again, those have suites that fit up to 13 people. They also have club level, which I already explained what club level is. So again, it's just continental breakfast, it's afternoon snacks, it's small plate appetizers, drinks like beer and wine cocktails, and dessert. Again, it's open daily all day, so you can always pop in. There's always something out at some point. So Portofino had the Despicable Me suites. These have the Future Rockstar suites, where everything is very, rock and roll and make you feel like your kids feel like a little, rock star in training. And it's the same thing. It's, 2 bedrooms, one's off for the kids, that's all themed, and the other part is the adults, king room. And what's cool about this hotel is their pool has an underwater sound system. So you hit underwater, you can listen to music, and again, it's all, kind of that rock and roll theme. You actually can get a guitar sent to your room, an actual guitar. You go to the front desk, they'll give you a menu almost with 20 different types of guitars, and you can put down a deposit, and then they'll deliver it to your room, and you can play. They'll give you a pick. They'll give you everything you need just to, jam out on the guitar. And you do not need to know how to play the guitar, but it's just something fun, especially for the kids to do. So again, that's something that's really cool at the Hard Rock. They have a big pool there as well, bar and restaurant poolside. Same thing. They have a fitness center, a game room, jogging and walking path as well. And a lot of music memorabilia. So if you walk around the hotel, you'll see costumes and pictures of, rock and roll, stars and that sort of thing. So the Hard Rock is, again, it's a very cool vibe, has good restaurants. It has a place called The Kitchen, which is a good place for breakfast. They actually have a breakfast menu and a buffet, so you can do either or. Again, it's a casual setting. The Palm is a steakhouse, so it's a little bit, more upscale. Then there is the Velvet Bar, which is, again, small plates, cocktails, and, more of an adult scene. And again, like I said, there is poolside. There's, you can get something to eat at the pool, and typically there is waiter service. Hotel best for kids. It's hard to say. I mean, it depends. Like I said, each hotel has their own uniqueness to it. So it really, I think, depends on the family and the kids. Like I said, for adults only, my personal favorite is Portofino. They have like the jacuzzis and a little bit more of have like more of an adult pool area, more so that the kids usually aren't around. But for kids, they are all great for kids, honestly. So let me get into, I'm planning to stay. Is it possible to stay one night, cheaper resorts for one night? Yes, I'm actually going to answer that in a second. When I get into the benefits, we'll talk about splitting stays. I'm gonna get into those questions, I promise, in a second. We're gonna go over the Royal Pacific really quickly. So Royal Pacific is a very Polynesian Hawaiian themed hotel. Very beautiful, and that is the closest to Islands of Adventure. Again, 10-minute walk, few minute boat rides, very easy. There are suites that hold up to 11 guests, and this hotel now, their theme for the kids' suites is Jurassic Park. So again, separate room for the kids, Jurassic Park theme, separate room for the adults. Again, they have club level as well. Here at the Royal Pacific is Despicable Me character breakfast. That's every Saturday. You do need reservations. Again, it's not every day. It's just Saturdays. So that's something really cool for the kids, especially if they like Despicable Me and they love Minions, because that's who will be there, obviously. They have an Islands dining room. This is where you can get breakfast as well. There is quick service. At all of these or somewhere we can always grab and go. So you don't always feel like you need to sit down at a restaurant. I know everyone wants to kind of get going and head to the park. And then there's a sushi bar here. There's a bar. In terms of activities, there's a pool. They actually have a torch lighting ceremony nightly, depending on the weather, of course. Fitness center, game room. All three have the kids club. So if you want to drop off your kids and go do some, have some downtime with your spouse or your friend or whoever, you do have the option of kids service, babysitting service, and again, jogging and walking pass, of course. Breakfast is not complimentary anywhere unless you are doing club level, and then you get a continental breakfast. So it's a little bit more limited in terms of breakfast. The newest resort is Endless Summer, if that's what you're asking about in general, Renee. I'm just looking. The Minion breakfast is cute. Okay, Tracy, really liked the Minions breakfast. Food was decent. So it's good to hear other people's opinions on things as well. Will Royal hold your luggage for free? We check in early that morning. Yeah. Okay, so now that's pretty much just a very quick overview of all the hotels. Again, all three, very, very different, all beautiful. You cannot go wrong with any of them. Personally, I've stayed at all of them, and I love all of them. So, hold on, sorry, 1 second. Comments. Are the pools heated? Typically not. I mean, in the winter, they might throw in the heat, but because it's so hot in Florida, there's really no reason to have to need the heater. What's the newest resort, Renee? It's the Endless Summer is the newest Universal resort. It's not a premier resort, if that's what you're asking. Yeah, the Royal Pacific is beautiful. All three hotels, or you just Google, just the hotels and see pictures. They're all beautiful and very, very nice hotels. So let's go into just the benefits of the for all three of them. Now, again, there's benefits to staying at all on-site resorts. So if I leave things out, it's because they fit for all the hotels. I just want to talk specifically about the three premier resorts, because like every hotel, for example, gets early park admission, whether you stay at, one of these three, or you stay at Sapphire Falls, or even if you just buy tickets, you do get early park admission through our agency when you purchase tickets as well. But so again, I'm just talking about these three premier resorts. Okay. So the biggest thing, and I'm sure I think why most people try to get a night in there, is the unlimited express passes. So the unlimited express passes, the unlimited part means you can go on each ride as many times as you want, because you can buy limited, just express passes, and they only allow you to go on one ride per express pass line. So once you go on Spider-Man in the express pass line, you can't do it again. When you stay at these hotels, you get unlimited, so you can go on Spider-Man 15 times if you'd like. So that's definitely the biggest thing. And the unlimited express passes, if some of you have checked it out or have got or had it quoted by an agent, they are very expensive, and usually it actually works out to be cheaper to stay one night at one of these premier resorts, or however many nights, than to buy express passes for each day. So I think someone was asking about doing a split stay. So you could do that. Just you want to just try to budget a little bit, and you want to stay one night at a Cabana Bay and then stay the other night at Royal Pacific. You can do that, and you actually will end up getting 2 days of unlimited express passes. So I know that question's been asked a lot too. Just in general, and now I saw it asked a couple times. If let's say you get to the hotel and you're there for 7 a.m., you absolutely can check in. They will hold your bags for you. Once you check in, your room's not ready, which it won't be at 7 a.m. You will get a text message when your room is ready, and it'll just say, your room's ready. You might not even have to stop at the front desk. You'll have your room number ready and have your keys, and then you can just head to your room when you get back from the park. So 7 a.m. you check in, go print out your tickets and your express passes, and you can head to the park for opening, which could be 8 a.m. because you will have early park admission. And then you have that express pass until the day you check out, when the park closes. So let's say your checkout date is the 16th. You have that express pass till the 16th at 9 p.m. when the park closes. So does everyone understand that? Does that make sense what I'm saying? And yeah, Carmen, there is a ton of places outside of Universal, like Walmart, restaurants, food stores, a ton. You do not have to go very far to do any of that kind of stuff as well. Your tickets are printed, so you check in, and then you actually go to a self-service kiosk, and it literally will print from the machine. It takes seconds, and it will take your picture, and it'll print out your express passes. The express passes are like the size of a credit card, and it actually has your picture on it. And I always recommend getting a lanyard to stick it in, because every ride you go on, you have to show your express pass. So you don't want to have to keep going into your pocket and looking for it. So that's why at the end, I'm going to be giving away some free lanyards, because I'm hoping that all of you will stay at the Premier Resort and use your express passes. Print the check. Yeah, so once you check in, or it's the day, Virginia, once you either check in or it's the day your tickets. Actually, that's not true. You can check in the day you check in, you have to get your express passes that day. Tickets you can print, you can go and print the night before, but you won't get your express passes. So you might as well just print it all at one time. Yes, Publix was awesome. Publix is one of my favorite supermarkets. Yes, you can do grocery delivery as well. I believe there is a fee. If any agents are on here, does anyone know what the fee is for grocery delivery to the resort? I know Disney it's $6, but I can't say for sure what Universal is. I have to check on that. The military discount tickets, I believe you will typically buy on base. So those will be a little different. Walking distance. No, well, there might be a couple places. The Walmart, no, it won't be walking distance. Okay. Yep, Kaylin, I book. So whoever, wants to book a trip, you can absolutely reach out to me. I pin my page to there. I'm also going to put my email address in there as well for you guys to reach out to me. But let me go back to the benefits as well. So again, the Unlimited Express Pass is the biggest deal, absolutely, for sure. Again, from check-in at 7 a.m. you want to check in, head to the park at 8 a.m. for early park admission, to the day you check out when the park closes. So you have lots of time to use it. So that's why, you technically are getting, 2 days out of it, even if you're just staying for one night, day of check-in and day of checkout. You also get priority seating at select restaurants. So all you do is, let's say you want to go to Margaritaville for dinner, and you just show them your room key and you get priority seating just for staying at one of the premier hotels, which is huge because especially depending on when you go, restaurants can be very busy, especially if you have maybe a larger party. So that's also a huge benefit as well. The location of the resorts is what's also huge. They're all walking distance or a very short boat ride. So if anyone's familiar with City Walk, City Walk has bars and restaurants, movie theaters, mini golf, karaoke bars, shopping, and open till 2 a.m. daily. So sometimes, you want to have a good time and you're not getting back to your room until 2 a.m. It's nice to have that really short walk or short boat ride. The boats will be running from about 7 a.m. until about 2:15 a.m. So if you don't feel like walking, you can take a boat. They will still be running. The restaurants are, the Mexican restaurant, Antojitos, Bob Marley, Hard Rock, Pat O'Brien's, Margaritaville, and Vivo's Italian Kitchen. And in the park, it's Mito's, the Confisco Grill, Finnegan's, and Lombardi Seafood and Grill. So in the park, it's just a couple restaurants, but City Walk, there's a good chunk of restaurants that do the priority seating as well. Renee, I'm a person that I don't like to waste my time eating inside the park. I like to have fun and just go on rides. I'm more about in the park, I'm grabbing a hot dog or a cheeseburger or whatever, and then I like to go and sit and have a nice dinner at the end of the day. So I'm all about eating at City Walk. I think there's a huge variety of restaurants, all very good restaurants. So I'm all about eating in City Walk. Universal does have dining plans. They have a couple of different dining plans as well. Big Fire does not have that benefit. They're not on the list as of yet, especially because it's a new restaurant. They usually, not right away, but that might eventually be a restaurant that does have that perk. Something else about Premier Resorts, pets are actually allowed to stay. There is a pet fee. I think it's $100 a night for the dogs. So, but you can bring your animals. They're not allowed, in the pool area. You can't bring them to the park unless they're service animals, and that's, a different story. But yes, you can. They are pet friendly, the 3 Premier Resorts, and actually Sapphire Falls as well, but the 3 Premier Resorts. There is 24-hour room service at the Premier Resorts. The other resorts do not have that. So again, you come back after, a late night at 2 a.m. and you want something to eat, you can go ahead and call room service, and they have a late night menu for you. Which is also really nice. Again, that's not complimentary. It does cost something, but that's another great perk to have too. This hotel does, all 3 hotels do offer valet parking. If that's something that's important to you, that is something that these Premier resort hotels do offer. And I know this is, again, another conversation I think going on maybe today about pool hopping. You can pool hop to all of the resorts. The only resorts that's not allowing pool hopping right now is Endless Summer. That is the brand new hotel, just opened a week ago. So that hotel is a no. All other resorts are available for pool hopping, which is cool because, again, every hotel is very different, has a very, unique pool. Cabana Bay has the lazy river, which is nice. Hard Rock and Portofino have slides and jacuzzis. So if you want to pool hop all day, you can absolutely do that. Yes, if you have pet allergies, then yes, absolutely. Scooter rental on-site or off-site. Typically, off-site is usually a better way to go. There are scooter rentals that our agency partners with, and we can actually have a scooter delivered to your room, delivered to your hotel on the day you check in, and have it picked up on the day you check out. That's always usually a better way to go instead of worrying about renting it every day at the park. Recommend the dining plan. Yes, I think you'll hear very mixed reviews. I'm a person that likes to have everything paid for when I get there. I'm not really spending too much money. I kind of know what I'm spending already. So in terms of that, I always think the dining plan is definitely is definitely worth it. And if anyone's ever stayed with Disney, they're a little different. You can actually mix and match dining plans. You can do it for only a certain amount of days. Disney, you have to do it for your entire length of stay. So you can mix and match with the dining plan, which I think is really nice. And you can get souvenir cups. There's drink stations all around the park, and every 10 minutes you can refill your drink. So that's also part of one of the dining plans. So that's nice too. If you have kids who are always thirsty, or you always are thirsty, they have like those Coke machines. So, where it has 100 different drink options. So that's part of the dining plan as well, if you think that's something you'd benefit from. Can't get any closer than the Hard Rock. That's for sure. Okay. I don't know if I missed too many questions. Does anybody else have any questions? Because that's kind of my quick overview. Unlimited ice, yes. How do you plan breakfast when you're trying to get to the park early entry? So breakfast, again, there's all the hotels across the property have quick service places to grab and go. So you want to, or, like for example, Portofino Bay, you can go and grab a muffin, or, sometimes they have those like little quiches or breakfast sandwiches. I always recommend doing those types of things. I'm not a big breakfast person, so I just grab whatever is easy, or a yogurt, or you go to this food store and buy some yogurt and stick it in your fridge and eat, in your room. Or you can have, again, the 24-hour room service. What you can do is you can plan to have room service delivered to you at your room at 6:30 a.m. You put your menu out, what you would like at night. And, so you'll circle everything, and they'll bring it to your room at whatever time you'd say. So let's say you want breakfast at 6:30, it'll be delivered to your room. So that's a good way also of, just trying to get to the park ahead of time. Refillable cups, that's time. Yes, you can purchase refillable cups. It's $15.99, I think, or $16.99 for a refillable mug. You can't you can't use your own unless you purchased it there. We have not heard that it'll be available in the future. I'm going to say absolutely. I think it's only a matter of time before express passes will be released, because even when Harry Potter originally opened, there was no fast pass for there either, and it wasn't long before they opened a line. So I think once it kind of settles down, I absolutely think that line will exist for Hagrid's. The luau, I believe, is every night. I think kids will love it, honestly. I don't personally have a blog or YouTube channel, but again, this is what our pages are here for. We try to do what we can to update. And I know this page is very busy, so I think sometimes things get lost on our page. So, but we definitely try to update. And if you follow any of the agents or my page, or our actually main Marvelous Mouse Travels page, that's where you're going to get a lot of updates for Universal, or for Disney, or for any travel destination really. Yes, you can charge purchases at the park, and actually you can have your things delivered. So let's say you go shopping in the park, you don't want to carry your bags, they can be delivered to your hotel as well. It just needs to be, it can't be the night before checkout, because it does arrive the next day. So just keep that in mind. If it's anything you bought and you want right away, then don't have the delivery service, but you can charge, and it can be delivered to your room. Some people use Instacart, Abby. I think is actually the best way to go, and I think they're actually pretty affordable. How many rides that don't express? Yeah, so very, very few rides that don't accept the express pass. It's that that Pterodon Flyers. It's actually for kids. That doesn't accept express passes, and Hagrid's right now are the only two, I believe, that do not accept express passes. So the express passes are totally worth it, because you're using it on 99.9% of the attractions. Parking, difference is fair. So parking is more expensive at the deluxe resorts. I believe it's $22 a night at the deluxe resorts, and it's like I don't remember off the top of my head. Valet is obviously a few dollars more a night. Yeah, so you do pay for parking at the resort, yes. All right, if I miss somebody's question, if you want to type it again. And again, so what I'm doing is I'm commenting on my post, my personal page. So you can head to my page, like my page. That's another way to stay up to date on Universal. I specialize in Universal and Disney, so you'll see most of my pages, mostly that information. I'm also going to put my email address. So if anybody's interested in any help for your next Universal vacation, please feel free to reach out to me, whether it's my page, message me on my page, or this is my email address. Going at Christmas time, how bad will it be on a scooter? Donna, are you going like Christmas week? $36 valet. Okay, yeah, I thought it was like about $10 or so. I mean, it will be busy. The areas in Universal actually are pretty wide, I think, in terms, so to maneuver a scooter, I think you'll be okay. No, unfortunately, there's nothing we can do with DVC rentals. Those are just, you strictly have to work with the owner, unfortunately. So we do not do anything with DVC rentals. As much as we would love to, we unfortunately don't do anything with rentals. I don't know about the 18-month pass. Universal is constantly changing, deals are constantly coming out. Even the buy 2 days, get 3 free for anybody who's, kind of teetering back and forth about buying any packages. That is ending July 31st. So if you think you want to head to Universal between now and December, I think 16th is the cutoff day for when it can be used, and there's no blackout dates. Definitely take advantage of that in the next couple weeks if you're able to. It's a great deal. You're paying for 2 days and you're going for 5. So it definitely is worth it if you're able to go. Do rides close earlier than the park's closed? No, as long as you get in line by the time the park closes, you're good to go. So at 8:58, park closes at 9. You want to get on the Hulk, just get online. Again, sometimes that is different for a ride like maybe Hagrid's. They'll close out a little bit earlier if the line is really, really, really long because they don't, want people in line till 5 a.m. But besides that, you have until the park closes to actually get online. Yeah, so that's something else to keep in mind. If any of you are traveling while the Halloween Horror Nights is going on, check the calendar because the park, Universal Studios will close earlier, typically at 5 p.m. the park closes, so you will lose out on a couple hours when it's Halloween Horror Nights. Just something to keep in mind, so just make sure you always keep an eye on the calendar to see what nights Halloween Horror Nights is going on. I believe it's 4 or 5 p.m., Nicole, you can get in. Yes, it is just at Halloween Horror Nights is just at Universal Studios. And again, if anyone's ever been, it's really good. It's fun. It's actually scary. It's not something you'd bring your little ones to unless they like being scared. If anyone's been to Mickey's Halloween party, they are very, very different. So that's something to keep in mind. It's amazing. It's fun. You can buy express passes for it. And the rides, majority of the rides are all open. It is at Universal Studios, but it is scary for sure. Yeah, exactly. So the premier resorts, again, are Royal Pacific, Portofino Bay, and the Hard Rock Hotel. Those are the 3 premier resorts that we talked about. No deals have been yet released, Pamela, for 2020, and there's no way to know when. They don't actually give us dates. It's kind of just one day someone calls and they're like, oh, there's deals out, and then the word kind of spreads. Unfortunately, that's how it usually goes. You don't really get much of a heads up for when those deals will be released. So when they are, again, if you follow our Marvelous Mouse Travels main page, we'll always keep everybody up to date when those are available as well, and we'll definitely post it in here. Well, Christmas week tips, my biggest tip would be to stay at a premier resort and have unlimited express passes. That's really how you're going to kind of get everything done, because it is very busy. So I always just recommend the express passes for sure. Typically in December, it can close anywhere, between 7 or 8. Typically, usually doesn't get much later than that, except for maybe Christmas week, and they might push it to 9. But once it's the winter, 7 or 8 is typically their park hours. If you want to be there when the park opens, I would definitely, again, you have early park admission, Beth, so the park opens at 8 a.m. You should get there for 7:45 at the park, just to, get situated. Obviously, you should have your tickets already printed, so you don't even really need that much time. So you can get to the hotel at 7:15, I think would be plenty of time to, check in, maybe even 7, depending on which hotel you're staying at. Oh, you said Royal. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'd give yourself maybe 7 a.m. I'd get there, just so you're not rushing. And if you've never been, just to find your way around. Book time. Yeah, I agree. I think 10's a tough age, and again, it all is definitely your own kid. I can't say whether your 10-year-old would love it or not, but like I said, it's scary. It's scary in terms of like people jumping out at you. They kind of chase you down the street even when you're not in a haunted house. So again, it's so fun, but maybe the little kids, Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party might be a better way to go. So Christmas, my favorite personal thing is when you head over to Islands of Adventure in Dr. Seuss Landing, is the Grinch, and he's so fun. He plays the role very, very well. So that's always a must for me, is go see the Grinch, and they do a live version of the tale. So that's definitely a must. And in Universal Studios, they do have the Macy's holiday parade also, which is really cool. And you're welcome. I see everyone saying thank you. No problem at all. Any other questions, you feel free to keep commenting, or you can email me any questions. Yeah, so going to other pools, you literally just need your hotel room key, and you cannot get on a bus that takes you hotel to hotel. That doesn't exist. You do have to either walk, or if you're at City Walk, you can walk or take a bus from City Walk, not from your hotel directly. So just show your room key, and you can just hang out at the other pools, with the exception of Endless Summer. Actually, someone said today they couldn't get tickets, but I actually have clients going. I already booked reservations for, so the Grinch tickets have been released. The Marvel dinner, the characters are amazing. It's a buffet. People don't seem to love the food. I think the food's fine. I think it is what buffet food is. But the character experience itself for Marvel is really, really good. So I would definitely highly recommend if you have kids that like the Marvel characters. Oh, Club Level World Pacific, that's going to be amazing. It's so hard to say what I recommend for a day, which park. I mean, people can weigh in what they think is the best park to go to. I think it depends on who's traveling and what kind of things they like to do. I think more of the thrill rides and that kind of stuff you're going to get in Islands of Adventure. It's so hard. I don't know, because then you have Rip Rocket Ride and the other one, and the Mummy. It's really tough. I think it really depends on what you and your family like to do. Okay, thank you, Gina, for answering that question about the cost for delivery. We're not sure what they charge. There probably is a small fee for delivering groceries, but the front desk will hold on to your groceries for you, and then I'm sure there will be a small fee for a delivery service, just for anybody who's asking about delivery. Let's see. How's that work? Portofino's any of the premier resorts are great for especially a family of 5, just because the rooms are bigger. You do have to get a rollaway. That is the only thing. There is going to be 2 queen beds in a rollaway, but the rooms are big enough that everyone will fit comfortably in that room. There are hotels like Cabana Bay that fits 6 adults. It's not a premier resort, so you just are missing out on some of the benefits. A great resort, and also another good option for a bigger family. Use your service, you create a alternative for each day. Kim, I absolutely can. It's really up to you how, what kind of vacation you want to have. The great thing about Universal is, and this again, if people have been to Disney versus Universal, Universal is a very laid back vacation. You don't need to worry about making fast pass reservations. You're typically not making a ton of dining reservations. It's a very laid back vacation. There's really not much planning that needs to go on. We can plan as much as you want, obviously, but it's nice actually to kind of have that, like, let's just go to the park, we'll do our thing, and not worry about what time our fast pass rides are and all that kind of stuff. So I'd be more than happy to do, an everyday itinerary, but you don't really even need it for Universal. Would you get these? Yeah, definitely. If your kids don't go on rides, then Natasha, then it might not be worth it. There's not I feel there is a lot for kids, but it is very much a ride, parks in terms of like more thrill rides and more, interactive rides. So that really depends on your kids for sure. I plan Universal and Disney. I do all Disney destinations, Universal and Royal Caribbean Cruise Line typically. And again, if for any of you who are not familiar, Universal and Disney are 15 minutes apart. So if you're able to go down there and you can do both, it's absolutely worth it. Just while you're in the area, why not? Yeah, everyone's saying so much more laid back than Disney. Yeah, it's a very different experience. Volcano Bay is always open. It might be closed on certain days if the weather is really bad, but it's always open. 3 days, I think, is plenty, is Jackie. There are 2 theme parks and 1 water park, so you can get everything done in a day per park. And if you don't plan on even doing Volcano Bay, 3 days is definitely plenty for sure. Especially if you have express passes, you'll get everything done. Again, Stephanie, if for the express passes, I think it's totally worth staying at a premier resort. And what's also nice about staying at these premier resorts, if you have younger kids and you want to head out and let's go back, take a nap, use the pool for a couple hours, it's so nice just to be able to get on a boat or just have that short walk back, let the kids, play in the pool or nap. So I'm always all for the premier resorts for sure, just because the other resorts, with the exception of Sapphire Falls, you have to get on a bus, and the buses come frequently, every 10 or 15 minutes. But, doing the walk is definitely the best way to go. You're welcome. Yeah, Volcano Bay is amazing. In Volcano Bay, there are actually, express passes do work for Volcano Bay as well. For certain rides, and there is early park admission. Even in the summer, Volcano Bay is opening at 7:30 a.m. So you want to go and get a chair and hang out in the pool with nobody else in it. It's amazing. March and April are very busy in terms of spring breaks, because everyone's spring breaks are a little bit different depending on when Easter falls, and colleges are a little bit different. So March and April are typically a little bit busier. I don't know the cost, Nicole, off the top of my head. I would have to look that up for you. Yeah, you're there in the summer. You absolutely want to have lots of pool time because it is very warm. And again, the weather is, it's so tricky in between, even October, November through January, February, I'm sorry, is hard because the weather could be 85 degrees or it could be, nights can get into the 40s. I was, when I was there last February, in the beginning of February, the beginning of my trip, I was outside at a softball game and it was 41 degrees. And then the end of the week, it was 80. So it's so hard to tell whether or not you're going to get pool time or not. I always just say, bring everything just in case. But there definitely won't be any humidity, which is really nice. Yeah, again, I can't say yes or no. October, you're probably safe during the day. It'll be a little bit cooler at night, but February can definitely go either way. Yep, no times attached to express passes. It's really nice. Okay, a couple of you were asking about the Marvel meal for 3 adults and 2 children under 8. It was about $215. No, Universal gives you, Dana, they print out these little paper cards that you have to unfortunately hold. That's why lanyards are always the better way to go. Just stick it in your lanyard and you'll scan it at each ride. So there's no wristbands like Disney. I won't be surprised if that's not in the near future, though. They want to stay competitive with Disney, of course, so you never know what they're going to come out with next. In terms of how the express passes are working. The kids club, there are video games, there's movies, sometimes there's food, I believe, depending on the hour that the kids are there. Very interactive games, and the counselors do an amazing job at these kids clubs. They're definitely worth it, especially if you want, just a little bit of a downtime, Claire. There's a ton to do. They keep them very entertained. Again, with the express passes, the wait times, it's really, and maybe someone who just was there, okay, will tell you for sure. But you can wait 15 minutes, no more than a half hour. I don't think you'll ever really wait with the express passes unless you are just there on the craziest day and everyone has express passes. You won't ever wait more than that. Let's see. Volcano Bay is not, as to me, is not just another water park. I think it's a do not miss water park for sure. So Beth, you can buy lanyards from anywhere. You can go on Amazon. You don't even have to buy them at the park. You can buy them ahead of time, especially if you know you're having express passes. Party City sells them. Amazon, yeah, you can get them anywhere. So you do not have to buy the universal ones. Can you? The store at Harry Potter or Olive Landers, that's open for early park admission. So I would head right there at 8 a.m. Yeah, so Harry, you do not have to be a Harry Potter fan. I actually am not a Harry Potter fan. I enjoy the rides still. I think the rides are awesome, but I don't do anything else in the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. So there's definitely still a lot to do for everybody, for sure. I think admission, the only time I ever see, discounted prices is usually for parking. I'm not sure about the Volcano Bay. Let me write that down, Nicole. I'm going to get back to you on that one. Unless there's another agent who knows the question to that about discounted discounts for admission after a certain time. Nicole, I'm going to check that out for you and get back to you because that one I'm not 100% sure and I don't want to give you a wrong answer. Does anybody else have any other questions? So if I miss you, once we're done here, I'm gonna go through all the questions and I'm going to answer everybody. And I see some people are actually answering for me, which I greatly appreciate because there are a lot of questions. Yes, you can upgrade. No, unfortunately, Stephanie, there's no way for us for knowing. We actually don't even find out until like the first day of the month. What park has early park admission? So, definitely do not know for November or December. I mean, the last several months have been have been Universal Studios. So it might stay like that for a little while. So I'm just going to go ahead and guess Universal Studios, but I can't say that for sure. Would you say the Marvel dinners worth it? I think if your kids like the Marvel characters, I would say it's worth it. Harry Potter opens for breakfast. I believe it's 8 a.m. MJ, I'm not sure if you're being funny or not, but obviously we're always going to say by purchasing tickets through Marvelous Mouse Travels. We purchase directly through Universal. So our prices are the exact same. And again, if you're not staying at a Universal resort, you will get early park admission just for purchasing your tickets through us. You also get the benefit of using an agent, and why not? You have somebody that you can ask questions to, get recommendations from. If you want itinerary planning, and it's at no cost to you, so why not use an agent? You're welcome. Anybody else have any questions? Again, I put my email in here somewhere. My business page is there. Would love to work with all of you and plan your next Universal vacation. So feel free to reach out to me for sure. If we stay one night in one year. So Jessica, you can use the day you're supposed to check into the hotel is the day you can start using your express passes. So at 7 a.m., you can go check into your hotel and head to the park at 8 a.m. when it opens. And then you have until your checkout date when the park closes to use your express passes. And Brian, we can get military packages, which would have to be hotel and tickets. So we can do military packages. We will get the military discount. Yeah, when you're doing tickets only, you will have to buy from the military base. When it's a package, our agency is able to get military discounts. You're welcome, everybody. Anything else? No, so it's always one park or the other, with the exception of Volcano Bay. They have early park admission as well, but it's always one or the other parks. Eventually, they're trying to get both parks to have early park admission. I'm being told that has not happened yet because it does get busy, especially depending on the time of year. So that could be a possibility down the road, but as of right now, it's one park per day. I mean, for that whole month, that's just for early park admission. Yeah, so for food allergies, they always suggest that you call ahead of time and let them know your food allergies, and they'll go over everything with you. So I don't want to get out of this and accidentally get out of it, but I will send the link, and when I get out of this, I will send the link for the food allergies, just so you can read it. And like I said, there's a number you can call, so it's always best to call and go over the food allergies, and they'll go over it with you. Food allergy. Yeah, so Amanda, very similar to Disney with the the disability pass. It's the same thing at Universal. You'll head over to guest services, and then you'll go over what accommodations you need, and they'll work with you. So very similar to Disney. Yeah, they're Stephanie, there are off-site hotels as well that Universal partners with that does provide free shuttle transportation to the park. So that is an option. And that is something our agency can book for you as well. It doesn't have to always be on site. Yep. For military discounts, you have to be retired or active duty. I see a couple of you talking about that. Yeah. So if you're not fully retired, you unfortunately do not qualify for military rates. Has to be active or fully retired. Can you do the two parks in 2 days? Yeah, for sure. And again, if you have express passes, you absolutely get it done. And the other thing too, if anybody, I know we're talking about Premier Resorts, so I don't want to get too much into the other stuff, just in case another agent comes on and wants to talk about it. But for park tickets, especially the buy two get 3 days free, you have the option of doing a base ticket, which means you go to one park per day, or you can do park to park tickets. And park to park tickets just means you can bounce back between any parks, including Volcano Bay, if you do buy the 3 park ticket. And you need a park to park ticket if you want to ride Hogwarts Express, which is the train and Harry Potter that takes you between both parks. The train is awesome. I'm not a Harry Potter fan, and I love going on the train. So again, you do need a park to park ticket for that. Just to keep in mind, if anyone's interested in booking a trip and they're just trying to figure out what to do. So again, with the park to park ticket and express passes, 2 days you'll get everything done and probably plus doing things over again for sure, Jason. Yep, it's the only way to go on the train. You have to have a park to park ticket. You scan your park to park ticket. You scan your ticket before you even get in line to go on the train. When you purchase tickets online for Disney, you still need to go to guest services once you get there, because they're going to give you, a pass and go over everything with you for the disability pass. So you still have to go to guest services once you get into the park. Just seeing if I'm missing anything else. All right. Does anybody else have any questions? I know it's getting late. I'm sorry I kept you guys for so long. Yeah, you can. I mean, it's not as much as Disney in terms of the characters you're going to see in the character greeting spots and stuff, but you absolutely will see characters. So I think it's worth bringing an autograph book for the kids. Anybody else? Again, please feel free to head to my page, email me. Good. I'm glad. I hope it was helpful. I know I kind of went through everything quickly, but hopefully it was, answered a lot of your questions. I know everyone has a lot of questions about the Premier Resorts. So hopefully everything was answered. And again, I highly recommend it. If you want the ultimate universal vacation, staying one of the Premier resorts with the express passes and it's just great. It's absolutely worth it. No, you do have to pay for parking, unfortunately. I wish that was, part of it, but it's not. But no matter how you do it, really, you're paying for parking, whether you drive to City Walk or if you're staying at one of the hotels. I mean, either way, you pay for parking. Yeah, 25 a day. Yeah, it's about 25 a day, and someone said it was like 36 a day for valet. Okay, it's up to 30 now. All right, I think I'm gonna end this now. If anyone, unless anyone else has questions, real quick, I'm gonna end it. And like I said, I'm also gonna pick a winner for the lanyards. So I'm gonna do it by random, obviously, and I'm gonna make an announcement in this Universal group. So I'll tag the person who's winner. Yes, they do every night on the in Harry Potter on the castle. They have a show. Yeah, all the premier resorts are going to be the same for parking. It'll be different at, Sapphire Falls. All the parking is different at each level of hotel. Okay, I'm going to end this now. So I want to thank you all so much for coming in. I appreciate it. And again, if you're looking to plan your Universal trip, please reach out to me. I'd love to help you. And if you have any other questions, feel free to email me, message me. I think this maybe will still be going. So I'm going to go through and see if I missed anybody. So thank you all again so much for listening. I appreciate it. And I will hopefully talk to you guys soon.